This is Jackie Simmons, the Elephant Tamer, and we are now moving through the 4 keys, how to stop the stampede of sabotage, keeping your time, talent, and treasure focused on your business and in your life. So last week, we were focused completely on awareness. And it was about growing your awareness of all aspects of your life, but especially how your body can tell you when you're starting to get stressed and how to unwind that. And this is really an elemental key in how to stay healthy. Because when we get stressed, our bodies shut down both digestion and healing. So chronic epidemics of obesity and autoimmune disease are directly linked to the fact that we don't have the good instruction manual for stress. And so that's the awareness piece. For those who were not part of the training last week, it's all in the video and it's in the overview video. So make sure you watch that if you haven't yet. All right, coming down to today, we started with awareness. We're going to always come back to it. The second thing we're going to get to today is going to be about attitude. And so we started with a really good question last week. What attitude would I have if I knew, I believed, that I worked with the best people, the best product or service, the best company, the best clients in the world? So that's our attitude statement. And we are going to work a lot with that. And we're going to work with what comes up when you say that. So if I asked you to just stand in that, I work with the best company, the best clients, the best team members, the best product or service. Anybody feeling queasy? Like it's not quite true? A little smirk? Maybe there's this, like a smurf going, not quite true, not quite true. Yeah, smurfs were good for calling each other out. So if there's a voice calling you out, this is your key to pay attention and to be aware. Write down what's not true. What's in the way of that being true for you? So if you've got some single words and you want to share, I'll put them up on the board. But for right now, just take a minute. What about that statement? What needs to change for that statement to be true? And if you wrote everything, that's cheating. So just think about it for a minute. What needs to change for it to be true, for you to be able to believe? Last week I shared my story about how this works for me. And part of it actually got reflected very well in that short video clip of Charlie Day when he gave the commencement speech. And in his short video clip, he said about failing, but he also said about not caring. Not caring what other people thought, and we're going to go into that a little bit. But for me, it's about not caring. I absolutely care. Okay, let me get this perfectly clear. I absolutely care. I care about you all. I care about the people who I'm going to be able to reach because this is being videotaped. I care about a bunch of things. That's why I'm engaged in so many things in the community. But letting other people and what's going on with other people affect what I'm doing next, not so much. So it's not that I don't care about the person. I just don't care to let their attitudes and habits run my life. And so that's what the not caring is. It's not caring about their opinion. It's still caring about the person. So I thought it important to make that distinction. So the piece though, I don't know how many people got to see the snippet of Charlie Day's commencement speech. It's in the Facebook group, and I know there was some Facebook navigation challenges. I will send it to you in a message if you let me know by the end of the night who to send it to, okay? So if you didn't get it, tell me, and when we take a break. Okay, what he says is fail, get up and fail again. But then he said fail in the way that you want to fail. And I didn't know what that meant, and it drove me crazy. Inquiring minds want to know. So I had to go find the transcript of the whole speech. It's not a really long speech. I always thought commencement speeches were long and boring. This guy's not so much. He told 3 stories, and it was his first story that is where this comes from. His first story is about coming out of college. He has the explanation of how it happened, but he got offered a job in the financial services realm right out of college. Would have given him a good paycheck and security, and he could do that. And so he was really seriously looking at that because he knew if he worked for them for 3 years, he'd have a cushion and he could go do what he wanted to do, which is acting. And he looked at it long and hard. What he decided was that he could fail in the financial services arena because he ended up in that arena because he had an interview that he acted in. And the other thing that it's pretty bad when the videographer's phone goes off. Okay, so reminder, turn your phones off. So he's telling the story, and what he ended up doing was he chose to go to New York. No job, no support system, nothing other than a burning desire. He did the old, working 3 jobs, bussing tables, waiting tables, whatever he could to scrap it together. And he decided that if he was going to fail, he was going to fail at something in his life anyway. He wanted to fail in the way that he wanted to fail. He wanted to fail doing what he wanted to do because he could accept the fact that he was going to fail anyway. Acceptance is how we come to the 4th key, and we'll be coming back and forth with that, but there's a reason why it's at the end and why it's such a big deal. Okay. He could accept the fact, this golden rule of life, that we're going to fail. So if we're going to fail anyway, why not fail doing what we love? Once I realized that that's what his story was, I realized how closely that paralleled mine and how I ended up here. Because I had figured out, after I failed several times, at what I didn't want to do, that maybe it was okay to take the risk to do what I want to do. And that's how I ended up doing what I do now, because I went from, and now I actually have just branded this, and it's called Doormat to Diamond. And so this is going to end up being just a short, like the 15 steps to how to go from doormat to diamond. Because I figure if it's my journey, and if he can talk about it at a commencement speech, it's probably the idea of failure and choosing where we're going to fail might be a good topic that people need to know about. So the awareness piece is about the fact that now you're in trouble because now you know you have a choice. Okay, now you know you have a choice. You can choose where you're going to fail because you're going to fail anyway. All right, so that was the really bad news, is you're going to fail.